Gabby, obviously everyone's still really pleased with the result on Saturday because it's part of this relentless winning run we've been on. We're picking up really good results. But it's all seeming to start with the performances. You guys must be delighted with the levels you are hitting so far.
Yeah, I think if you look at even last season. Don't get me wrong. I think what we accomplished last season was unbelievable. But you look at the running from maybe after Christmas, after the New Year inwards, we really started to pick up last year, and I think that's exactly what we've done this year. We've always said that if we get into a good run of form, a little purple patch or something, then you know how this league is. You can quickly climb up, and same as it goes. If you get into a quick losing run of form, then you can quickly drop back down. So we've got into a good run of form. Coming into the end of the season and into the playoffs now. So it's nothing but keep doing what we're doing. Keep concentrating. Keep planning, preparing, recovering, everything like that. Ready to see the season out and then onto the playoffs.
You might tell me differently, but I was thinking during the week that it must be quite difficult, a situation like this, to manage exactly what we're expecting, what we're trying to do, because we're in this situation now where it's not arithmetically sealed for a playoff, but we've got 3 games left, and as long as we pick up a point, then we will be. Does that come into the thinking at all? Is it easy to ignore that, or does it become complicated?
I don't know. Everyone's different, aren't they? But for me personally, and certainly the messages that the gaffers put across, Dicey's put across, and everyone like that, you can't really focus on that. I think if you go into every game thinking, "Oh, we need a point," then you're giving yourself a disservice right from the off. We prepare for every game just how we have done for the last 10. I know we were just talking about our form. I think it's the best in the league. Which is brilliant, but never once have we gone into a game in the past 10 games or even this season going, oh, let's try to take a point from this game. So that ain't going to be the case for the last 3 games either. We're going into it doing our planning and preparing, and definitely going for 3 points in every game that we play.
Speaking of games that we play, Partick Thistle up next, a team that we've beaten once, lost to once and drawn with, so another one of these situations in this league where it's going to be a tight game. I imagine you're expecting another one with the game on Saturday. Yeah, you're not gonna get anything else, I don't think. Certainly down there at their place, it's always going to be a tough game. It's going to be a battle, but at the end of the day, there's no reason why we can't go there and implement our style of play and get 3 points, put up a real big fight, just as we have done for the past 3 games that we've played them, where it's always been tight. But whether it just be individual errors or slight mistakes or anything like that have let us down in the games previous, then we just need to keep it tight and know that we do have the quality to go and win that game, which fingers crossed that we will. It was one of those few games in the run up to Christmas, the last time we went over at Firhill, and it was a 2-1 defeat that day, but the difference in turnaround, the form that both clubs have shown from that period to get themselves where they are at this stage in the season has been excellent. Does that mean we're set up for an exciting game, or do you think, given that both teams probably think there's a good chance they'll be meeting each other soon in the playoffs, that it might be slightly cagier? I'm not too sure. Obviously I can't speak for them, but I know for us it will be it'll be a case of nothing changes. Like I say, obviously last time we played them down there, I believe it was a set piece and then an own goal as well. So things like that happen, but I think in the second half we really turned it around, and we were much the better team in the second half. Unfortunately, I know the scoreline was 2-1. But look, at the end of the day, that's something that we need to put right. So we're not going into that game thinking, like I say, all we need is a point, keep cards close to our chest or anything like that. It's about righting that wrong of the 2-1 loss, and also putting a marker down. And at the end of the day, we want to get that 3rd spot, because we want that second leg here, where we know our home record. Again, I'll go back to even since I joined the club, our home record's been absolutely phenomenal. So we want that second leg here, and we need to get more points in Partick until the end of the season. So that's got to start Saturday for us. Something that we've not had a chance to speak to you about since you went over the threshold is that you get over 100 appearances now for Airdrie. It's been a remarkable run. You could have probably had more if not for a couple of injuries over the course, but it's a great achievement. You must be delighted.
Yeah, really happy. It was only at
about halfway through this season where I sort of clocked, long away games, we just have a chat on the bus, don't you, and how many games you got, how many goals you got, this, that and the other, and someone said, you could get your 100 here, and it was never even coming to my mind, but to get 100 for Airdrie it's a real nice feeling, and something that I'm definitely proud of, and yeah, some of the memories that I've had since I've joined the club, whether that be, the 2 playoffs, obviously one's ending heartbreak, one ended in, triumph, which is amazing. But yeah, I've always said it's a great place to play football, and it makes it all the better when you've got lads in there and the change room that we've got, and there's no better place that you're going to enjoy your football. So I'm really proud and happy.
Well, we're all very delighted that you've been here for the 100, and here's to many more. Cheers, Gabby. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you.
Rhys, obviously with the result on Saturday, the win here against Dunfermline, it makes it, I suppose, not more complicated, but it's not quite as straightforward as being mathematically sealed, but you've still got the playoffs very much well within the grasp. Does it affect how you go into this game against Partick Thistle, the team who looks like are going to be sharing that space with us, or do you just treat it like a normal game?
No, listen, it's just another game. We've got kind of personal ambition and to try and go and get that 3rd spot. I know financially and stuff what it does for the club, but effectively just getting yourself in the playoffs is the target. So we know that we're technically not mathematically over the line, but it's a chance on Saturday, especially a team round about us as well. We're on a good run of form, confidence is high, and the remaining games we'll look to go out and try and get as many points as possible so that we've got good form going forward.
And I suppose that keeping that momentum going from the victories and the performance levels that we've been putting in recently must be a massively important thing in and of itself, regardless of when and how we seal the actual playoff spot. The fact that we keep that performance level going so that we're in a rich reign of form going into them is probably the most important part of it all.
Of course, but even taking the kind of performance, which again is massive for me, that's the biggest thing that we look to focus on in the coaching element, but I think even the mental state, being in a good place, coming into your work every day with a smile on your face, knowing that you're winning games of football, but you're getting the performance to match that, and you can see each kind of day. I think you look back to the final, the kind of the atmosphere that week in training was excellent, and then like I said, you needed that wee kind of setback, and from that it gets you that bit of hunger. So football's a kind of funny game where momentum and confidence and all these kind of emotions play a huge factor. We try to obviously not forget that not too long ago and stuff that we were down the league, hadn't won in a few games, and there was a kind of sense of panic. Performance levels just weren't quite at what they're at just now. So it's really important that you use and you kind of ride that wave of emotion and stuff while you can, because ultimately it's not going to be like that every week, and there's going to be a time where you lose, you drop points, or your performance levels haven't been at the standard in which we've recently just set. So very important that we keep it fun at the same time as well. We've had a lot of games, we've had a lot of niggles, injuries, and people playing through kind of bumps and bruises, so it is a chance as well that we've almost got to reset and think of the bigger picture.
It's bizarre to be back in on a Tuesday night doing the kind of normal training interviews and not another away game, and I know it's been working well for us, but I suppose having this time to kind of slow that down a wee bit, that schedule, the players won't necessarily be happy, but it maybe gives you guys a bit more time just to breathe and prepare yourselves again for the last 3 games and then the playoff campaign itself.
Of course, it just gives us a chance, like I said, to probably take the load. You forget the travelling and stuff, and the conditions and all the elements that we've had to kind of bear. So the chance to get back to training on a kind of nice evening tonight, we get the rubbish out the legs, allows certain boys to do a little bit, allows certain boys to kind of take their foot off the gas a little in terms of the load. So good that we're back to a Saturday or a Saturday Friday, whatever it is, but like you said, we're probably carrying a few bumps and bruises, so it's more a chance that we can have a proper sit down, assess things properly, and see what the plan is moving forward.
I suppose yourself and Cammy Ballantyne will be the two that we'll look at from the weekend and from the last few weeks, and wonder how fitness levels and availability might be for the weekend coming up. What kind of stage are you and Cammy at?
So again, I'd kind of stepped up running today, so this was the first day that I'd been out and done some kind of 4-4s intensity stuff. Again, probably at a 50% level on the basis that I'm hoping tomorrow and by the end of the week, having stepping up and doing exercises and stuff as well, that there's going to be no reaction. Obviously, like anything, if there's a reaction, then I know I maybe just pushed it a little bit too soon. So important that we don't get carried away, and like I say, we try and focus on getting healthy, because there is important games coming up at a crucial time of the season. But I don't want to jump into it straight away. That's been, I think, 2 weeks or something now, so the recommended time to be resting and now stepping up the rehab side of things is going well. Always great when you're picking up wins and victories for a coaching point of view, so makes my job a little bit easier. But now it's a case of, can we introduce some kind of cardio stuff in training and see where we're at, how I respond, and ultimately my body will tell me from that. Cammy again felt a bit in his quad, again probably in the mindset as well, he didn't want to go and push through that in case he risked a tear, so he's been in and had a scan and stuff, so nothing too serious, but could be kind of out for a few days at least, just so that we can get that chance to rest. And ultimately he's come back from a kind of long term injury where he's had an operation, so I'd imagine kind of muscles and areas of his body will be needing a lot of strength work, and probably an accumulative of why he's maybe picked up an injury in certain areas. So it's important that, like everyone, we make sure that he's rehabbing properly, we're not putting too much into his legs. We have a serious think about kind of what minutes and if any minutes he's required. Like a few others, I think there was a few bumps and bruises. Adam Frizzell, I think, just felt his hamstring go a little bit in terms of tightness, so I took the decision to take him off, which obviously proved to be a good one. He's nothing kind of major, so on that front everybody seems to be okay. The rest of it's just bumps and bruises. Like I say, we'll assess kind of this week. It gives us a good chance to really deload the training, focus more on the tactical side of things. At this stage of the season, it's not like you need to put real fitness into anyone's legs. Sure. Most boys have played the majority of the season anyway, so it's probably going to be more about the tactical stuff, lower load in the legs, but at the same time, when the boys are training and stuff, make sure that each person is getting what they need.
3 closely contested games against Partick Thistle so far this season. The win here early doors was probably the kind of least close fought, even though it was still a narrow scoreline, but a win each and a draw. What kind of match are you expecting against a team that we've done really well to catch up on, because they were miles ahead of us for a while?
Competitive, they've been kind of mainstay, kind of third position for most of the season. A well kind of experienced kind of championship outfit, so we know that we're going to be up against, especially at their place. I know the pitch and the conditions, some have been kind of at their best recently, and obviously an injury to Stevie Lawless, who's a big player for them, having known him kind of a long time and played against him, and know what quality and that he brings. But you look at the result there at the weekend, and listen, it's competitive regardless whether we played really well the home game here. I thought we played really well the second half there, but lost. They're competitive games, and they've been very tight regardless whether you've been on the receiving end of a good performance, a bad performance. The scoreline suggests that it's been really tight, so I'd expect something the exact same. Ultimately we'll be looking to go and make sure that the performance and the results are in our favour, but probably knowing what's at stake for both clubs, having been so tight in the league, trying to pip that third spot, I'd imagine that it will be kind of very competitive.
Do you think, given the circumstances for both clubs in terms of the playoffs to come and the final 2 games after that, as well as the kind of the long haul of the season, is it going to be an exciting game, or do you think it might be slightly cagier just because of maybe teams not wanting to show each other their hand, or how those kind of things start to play into thinking? I
can't speak on Partick's behalf, but my team will never be cagey or going out to play a kind of boring anti-football. We'll go out to win a game like we do every game, whether it's a pre-season game or a cup final. I go out with the mentality that I want to win, and that's going to be no different regardless of personnel, tactics, formations. All that stuff goes out the window. We go with whatever we've got, and we try and get the win, and we do so with whatever we can.
Brilliant. Rhys, we'll see you on Saturday. Thank you very much.
Cheers.